Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler reviews. Here's videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. All I can hope for is that this particular review doesn't cause an international incident. But we'll get to that. Folks, it is a super simple format. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm gonna yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today. Ha 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 ha. Which also means that I have my Peter Can Thunderbolt poster behind me. You can see it's Peter Can Thunderbolt. Which, if you're not familiar with Peter Can Thunderbolt, well, chances are you're a completely rational human being. But I love Peter Can Thunderbolt. That's my one of two posters I have of it. But aside from that, no Marvel figures up there today, no crappy old ladder off to the side. We just doing it, And people occasionally ask about the mask up there. That is actually not in reference to the Jim Carrey movie The Mask, nor the comic book or anything. That's actually a bit of an homage to a friend of mine who sadly passed away a couple years ago. He was in a band called the Alder Kings, and they wore very similar green masks. I got this one just at like a party store, but that's why I hang that up there. If you were ever interested, it's a bit of a down note, but and I actually have some videos of the Alder Kings on my channel. I definitely recommend checking those out, man. Extremely cool band. Chris, the guy who passed away, extremely good guy. Rest of the guys, extremely good guys. I wish so much so that I could be out to another one of their shows, but we miss you, Chris. You'll never know how much, man. But anyway. Oh, and aside from that, folks, on the same band note, boom, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Specifically, this is my Corvin's Breed shirt, because I always like to highlight my super cool shirt. Corvin's Breed is a band that I just recently became familiar with. I was out a couple days ago at the time I'm doing this for a show for a band called Cyclone 9, and these were one of the opening bands. Blew me away. Seriously, like, they were fantastic. Kind of industrial metal, apparently from New England. Really cool. I'd never heard of them before, but apparently they were already affiliated with a lot of the bands that were on that particular tour, and I was happy to see them. So if you happen to be interested in any of that stuff, whether it's the Alder King stuff or Corvin's Breed or Cyclone 9 or any of that, I have an entire playlist of just concert videos that I've gone to. So, but anyway, what am I trying for you folks today? Why am I worried about it causing an international incident? Well, folks, because we're reviewing, boom, it's this. What is it? It's all in Chinese. This is apparently Chinese vanilla Coke. I bought this at a fun little import store, Exotic Snacks and Anime, and I didn't know what it was, but it was obviously in some sort of script that I personally cannot read. So I had to do a little bit of research on it, and it turns out that this is their version of vanilla Coke, which isn't that interesting. And so I wasn't going to review it because I was like, well, people have had vanilla Coke. It's been around for a while. But then I got an idea. What if I compared it against, boom, the good old Freedom America Coke? So this is going to be not only a review of their vanilla Coke, but a comparison against the classic United States American Coke. Will they be the same thing? I don't know. That's what we're here to find out. I will say you can see there is a difference in size and shape of their bottles. The American one doesn't have the length, but it does have the girth. So, do you want length or do you want girth? I don't. Hey, look. Can I get a thing for the thumbnail, by the way? Ha 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 ha. Sure, that'll be the thumbnail. So yeah, let's give it a shot. I'll try the Chinese one first. We'll kind of go from there. Which I like vanilla Coke. It's good. I don't drink it a lot, but it's good. I still remember when it first came out. It was a thing. Like, people were like, vanilla Coke, what the fuck, man? Let's see if China has a different take on it, or if it's pretty much the same thing. Smells like vanilla Coke. Let's give it a go. I mean, it tastes like a vanilla Coke. I don't think there's going to be too much difference between the two. I mean, because you never know. Like sometimes, maybe the way the sweeteners that they're using, or what have you. I wonder if this is made. Well, I was like, oh, I'll check the ingredients to see if it's made with cane sugar or not. Yeah, because that was going to go well, Brandon. Um, Tastes good. It tastes refreshing. Like I said, I do enjoy vanilla Coke. I would say out of the Coke flavors that are available out there, of the common ones, it's probably maybe like my third after like original and cherry. But then that's not saying a lot because after the vanilla, they tend to kind of fluctuate. They do have the cherry vanilla now, which by the way, I did a review of that, so go check out that review. I'm just saying. But no, it's good. It's very sweet. I've always thought that the vanilla paired nicely though with the Coke. It has more of a straight sweet because like Coke is obviously a pretty sweet beverage, but the vanilla it's sweet in a different way. And so even though it's kind of sweet on sweet, and I have heard some people complain about that aspect of it, for me, the fact that the types of sweetness that you're getting are different enough, I actually like it. I like the way that it plays together. But I mean, it's tasty. It's vanilla Coke. It tastes like vanilla Coke. Let's find out how it compares to the American stuff, though. Will it be more flavorful, less flavorful, the exact same? I wonder, smell-wise, if there's going to be much of a difference. Maybe a little bit, actually. The American one, but at the same time, like, I haven't, obviously. Well, it's about the same distance. Let's figure it out, folks. Let's give it a shot. Instantly different. Instantly. Ours, the American one, to be fair, definitely appears to be more carbonated. Like even though the Chinese one was certainly I didn't have any problem with the carbonation level. The mouth feel, which I know is like a very pompous kind of term, but whatever, it works. Um, it's very different. Like it's much fizzier. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I wasn't considering like the drinkability as being like a distinct difference to consider. I figured it'd be more taste wise. Yeah. And now that I'm tasting it against it, hugely different. Like compared to the American ones, the Chinese ones like genuinely taste almost flat. And mind you, they're not. Like, there's definitely carbonation in there, but I guess maybe they just have a different, preference for carbonation. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. It's just a thing of note. Oh, that's really interesting. I really did expect these to basically just be pretty much the exact same thing. Um, well, my laundry is apparently done. Just sort of go off. Which I'm happy I can do, because that means my hearing isn't completely shot just yet. It's getting there. In terms of flavor, they're pretty similar. I would say, I think maybe because this has a little bit less carbonation, it drinks a little bit cleaner. Like it's a very smooth drink as you're drinking it. Um, I think the vanilla stands out a little bit more, whereas with the Coke, the American version, I feel like the Coke is a little bit heavier in the flavor. But again, that might just be because the carbonation plays more to the Coke strengths. This is a little bit more interesting than I thought it was. Um, hmm. Excuse me. Both are good. Uh, yeah, it's just a little bit different. Not a huge difference. The biggest thing is just the level of carbonation. Um, hmm. Which of you do I prefer? Well, the thing is that before I tried the United States one, I really was just like, oh, it'll just be the exact same thing. But after you try it, like it loses some dimension to it comparatively because again, just the level of carbonation is so much lower. And it doesn't intrinsically take away from the taste. And like I said, it might even give it a little extra oomph to the vanilla, albeit very slight. But ooh, I mean, okay, here's the thing. They're very similar products. Very similar. Uh, really it is just the carbonation level that's making the biggest difference. But the thing is that ultimately, if I have to choose a winner between the two of them as to which one I prefer, I have to go with the American one because, well, that's the carbonation level that I'm personally used to, and I personally, as a big fan of soda, I like a heavier carbonation flavor. I like the bite that it gives to the whole experience. So while the Chinese one does have a little something to it, like I said, just the vanilla comes through a little bit more. It's not enough of a substantial difference to outweigh the loss that I feel that you lose with that carbonation level. Because yeah, it's just as soon as I started drinking this, after having this, it almost tasted flat. And again, it's not flat. This thing is in date, as far as I can tell. It hasn't been in my fridge for that long, so. But yeah, I mean, I think, and to be fair, maybe. I mean, it seems intact and everything. There was a thing, so like I said, I mean, I can only assume that, like I said, maybe just the carbonation preference is a little bit different in China than America. But for me personally, I have to give it to the American one. And that might sound like, yeah, I'm just sort of pandering USA, USA. Hey, folks, I went over there recently. I tried some rose cola from China, and that stuff was fucking phenomenal. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm, trying to be like overly patriotic, and that's why I'm giving them the win. At the end of the day, it's like I like the carbonation factor. It's always I think it's one of the best aspects of the soft drink. So yeah, I got to give it to the USA, even though otherwise, nearly identical. Very very different or very very minimal difference, but just that extra carbonation, I think personally, puts it over the edge for me. But anyway, two questions have to be asked, I guess. Would I get him again? Would I recommend him? Well, if we're talking about the Chinese vanilla Coke, I mean, if you're in a part of the world where that is your vanilla Coke, then it's perfectly fine. Like, I don't want to make it come off like I, have anything against it or anything. It's honestly perfectly fine. It tastes like vanilla Coke. It's sweet, it's refreshing. If you enjoy Coca-Cola and its products, there's no reason to give it, or no reason not to give it a go. But, counterpoint, if I'm in America, I'm going to get the American stuff. It's what I've grown up with. It's what's familiar to me. And beyond that, it's just the fact that, like I said, this is, I had to get it from an import store and stuff like that. And some things I'm genuinely willing to go with it. Like there are international versions of stuff that I think are better than the domestic stuff that we have here in the United States. This isn't one of those instances. So for me, I don't think I would get the Chinese vanilla Coke again. But I would definitely try out any number of their other drinks that are more interesting. For me, as for the actual vanilla Coke itself, yeah, I would get this again, man. It's not my go-to, but I do like a nice vanilla Coke, so. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Tag the rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Spend this rest of your folks. Go there. Have yourselves a truly vanilla-tastic rest of your life. Because people shit on vanilla, but vanilla is amazing. It's a fantastic flavor. Doesn't get the love that it deserves. Even though it's in damn near everything. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you can do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. Hell, I spent most of my day just doing bullshit chores because it was just like, hey, you know how you didn't do anything for the last 3 days? Now, to be fair, I had Thanksgiving, then I had a concert, then I just slept all day yesterday because I needed it. But, doing chores isn't much fun. Excuse me. I mean, for some people it is, but not for me. But at the end of the day, still have to go out into the world, still have to deal with things. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, because I brought it up in this particular instance in honor of my late friend Chris, just, take care of those that you love. Because you never know when it's going to end up being their time. And, unfortunately, once they're gone, you're just left feeling that loss. And, you just try to get by with it day by day. I've been sadly somewhat unfortunate in my own life as far as loss has been concerned in the last few years. I've been very lucky up until that point. Really very minimal, and, I've had to deal with a few these past few years, and it's hit me pretty hard. And so, my heart goes out to anybody who's had to deal with that. And it doesn't even have to be loss, it can be illness or just any type of, thing that's really weighing you down. But, just try to be good to yourself, be good to others, all that good stuff, right? Right. Or conversely, there is no conversely. Do that. I'm not even asking. Just do that, all right?